Hello, my name is Sal and I love telling stories and singing songs all about fish, especially a fish called the shad that lives in the long River Severn. Now the shad has been celebrated over years in stories and songs, and I'm going to tell you a long story. So make sure you're sitting comfortably because then I can begin. Once upon a time there was a fisherman and his name was Davy, and he fished on the River Severn, catching bright fish to send to market, and he hated his job. He hated the way that fish smelt. He hated the fact that they were cold. He hated the way that they were slippery and that they slipped through his fingers. And he hated the fact that he had to get up early or go to bed to catch the rise and the fall of the tides on the river to go out and catch the fish. And so on this one day, there was Davy hauling in the nets and sorting out the fish and wishing that he had a different job. Well, as he sorted through the nets, he came across a curious fish. Now this fish was much bigger than all of the other bright little silver rings that slipped through his fingers. And this fish had rainbow-coloured scales and gossamer, fine fins. And as Davy turned that fish over in his hand, he noticed that on top of the fish's head there was a crown, a golden crest, and he realised that he had caught the king of the fishes. And then, to Davy's amazement, the fish spoke. Well, it gasped, "Put me back in the water. Can't you see? I'm a fish and I can't breathe in the air. Please put me back." "You can speak?" said Davy. "Of course I can speak," said the fish. "I am the king of the fishes and I need to be back into the water to give my orders to my kingdom. Put me back and I will bring you luck and good fortune." Luck and good fortune? Davy felt like he was the unluckiest man in the world with a job that he hated. And so good luck and good fortune from the king of the fishes felt like a blessing indeed. Davy reached over the edge of the boat and he gently placed that bright slippery fish into the sea, and with its scales a-twinkling, it swam through the bright sparkling morning waters. And Davy wondered what sort of good luck and good fortune was coming his way, and just as he was wondering, he felt a hand on his shoulder, and it was the captain of the boat. He said, "What are you doing, Davy? I'm here to catch fish, not to liberate fish. Why did you just throw that beautiful big fish back into the water? It would have made a good penny at market." Well, Davy couldn't speak, and the captain folded his arms. "Do you know what, Davy? Your attitude is terrible. You're always miserable at work, you never smile. In fact, when we get back to port, I am going to put you off this boat. You are sacked." And that was it. Davy lost his job. Admittedly a job that he hated, but it was the only source of money. What was he going to tell his wife? Oh no! And the rest of the trip passed by in a blur, with Davy wondering, I thought that fish was supposed to bring me good luck and good fortune, and within 2 breaths, I've lost my job. Well, he got back to the quayside and the captain paid him off, and with his feet dragging in the dust, Davy made the long walk home, wondering how he was going to tell his wife that he'd lost his job. And as he walked along the dry, dusty road, his head full of worries and concerns, there was a character coming towards him. Now this character is a common character in stories. This character was dressed in a long black cape so that you couldn't see who he was. But if you were observant, you would have noticed that that character was not leaving footprints in the earth. Oh no, that character was leaving little hoof prints. And if you'd have been observant, you would have noticed the flick of a tail coming out from underneath that long dark coat. A long tail with a spike on the end. And if you had been there, you would have smelt the rotten egg smell of sulphur that was coming off the skin of the person wearing the cape. You know who it was? It was the devil. Old Scratch, old Nick, up to his monkey business. And Davy saw the character coming towards him, and he was leading a cow on a halter. "Hey, why the long face?" said the devil to Davy. "Well, I've just lost my job," said Davy. "Don't worry," said the devil. "Look what I've got here." And the devil bent down to the cow's udders and he gave the cow's udder a squeeze. And out of that cow's udder came a drop of delicious golden clotted cream. "Try it," said the devil. And Davy took a lick. Oh, it was delicious. It was the creamiest, richest clotted cream that had ever slipped down his gizzard. "Is there more?" said Davy. "A never-ending supply," said the devil. And he squozed the cow's udder and another golden drop of cream landed for Davy to lick. "That's not all," said the devil. And he went up to the cow's head. There were 2 sharp horns, and the devil gave one of the horns a twist, and out of the cow's ear tumbled a bright red strawberry. And the devil offered that strawberry to Davy. Davy took the strawberry and he bit it, and it was as if 10 summers melted on his tongue at the same time. The strawberry exploded with such sensations into his mouth, and the juice ran down the side of his cheeks. "That is wonderful. Are there any more?" "Never-ending supply," said the devil. And he gave the cow's horn another twist, and whoop, out of the earhole tumbled a bright red fragrant strawberry. "That is a strawberries and cream cow," said Davy. "Indeed it is," said the devil. "I must have it. I've just lost my job," said Davy, "and with that cow, my wife and I, we could be in business forever." "Well, you have to do me a favour," said the devil. "Can you do me a little service?" "Anything, anything," said Davy, and ching ching, pound signs had flashed up in his eyeballs, and he wasn't thinking straight at all, because you know, and I know, and everybody listening to this story knows that you never make a bargain with the devil. But it was just about to happen. And the devil said to Davy, "Now, you can help me. All along the River Severn, there are bright, shiny pebbles. And long, long ago, there was a river nymph who fell in love with somebody, and she wrote the name of her true love on one of those bright pebbles. Now," said the devil, "I loved that nymph, but she never loved me back. And I need to find that stone from all the stones along the banks of the River Severn, because there written is the name of the mermaid's true love. And I want to go," said the devil. "I want to go and punish that person. So I need you to find me one of the many stones on the banks of the River Severn that has got the name of the nymph's true love written on it. Can you do that?" "Oh, yes," said Davy. "No problem, no problem. I walk up and down the River Severn every day. I can find you your stone. I'll find you that name. Just give me the cow. I want to be rich." And the devil said, "Okay, you can have that cow, but I'm a fair-minded man. And I will give you a year and a day to find me that stone, to find the name of that nymph's true love. And I will come in a year and a day, and I will ask you 3 questions. I'll give you 3 chances. And you must tell me the name of that nymph's true love. And if you can't, well, then I shall take my cow back to the fires of hell with me, and I shall also take your soul." I told you. Davy had pound signs flashed up in his eyes. He said, "You come in a year and a day, I'll have your answer. I'm always out walking on the banks of the Severn." And so the bargain was made. Davy took the cow, and the devil went on his way for a year and a day. Davy took the cow home, and the very next day, him and his wife opened up the best tea shop that ever there was. There it was on the banks of the River Severn, with a view over the glistening waters, and they had a little sign on the cottage garden gate, and queues of people turned up for the amazing strawberries and the delicious clotted cream that made the best teas in the whole of the land. And on a weekend, Davy's wife would have a rest, and Davy would go walking up the paths all up and down the River Severn, and you would see him picking up the bright stones and inspecting them and looking all over their surface to see if written on that stone was the name of the nymph's true love. He picked up this stone, he picked up that stone, all the time hoping to see some words, but that was not to be. And after a whole year of frantic searching had happened up and down the rivers, one night Davy told his wife the whole story. He said, "You know Daisy the cow? Oh, she's an absolute blessing in our life," said his wife. "Well, I made a bargain with the devil and he's coming for his answer tonight and I can't answer his question." His wife tutted. "Don't you know? You never make a bargain with the devil. You foolish man. Well, we better just sit and wait." And so that's what Davy and his wife did. A year and a day had passed, and this was the night that the devil was due to come for the 3 answers to his questions. And Davy simply didn't have them. He'd never found the stone. And as the clock ticked and tocked, Davy and his wife shuddered and shivered and waited for the devil's arrival. And presently there was a knock at the door. "Go and answer the door," said his wife. "Go and answer the door. It'll be the devil himself." And Davy went to the door, and there on the doorstep was not the devil, but a young man with bright, innocent eyes. And he said, "I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but a terrible mist has come down tonight. There's a really deep fog, and I can't see a hand in front of my face. I'm walking from here to there, and I simply can't find the path. Could I come into your cottage and just wait a few hours till the mist lifts, and then I'll be on my way?" said the young stranger. "Well, we're not exactly a bag of laughs," said Davy. We're waiting for the arrival of the devil, but you're very welcome to come inside and wait by the door, but we're not going to be the best company." "I don't mind," said the stranger. "Just let me in, out of this mist, and all will be well." And so Davy and his wife sat by the fire, and the young lost stranger sat in a chair by the door, and they waited. How was the devil going to arrive? Was he going to come down the chimney? Was he going to burst through a window? They had no idea. And as the clock struck midnight, shazam! There, in a puff of smoke, with his skin steaming and a nice, hot, shining pitchfork brand new in his hand, was the devil, right on Davy's hearthstone. Ha, 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 ha! The devil threw his head back, and his beard was tongued and curled to perfection. He said, "Davy, a year ago I met you on a road. You took my cow and we made a bargain. You have to find out the name of that nymph's true love, written on a stone on the banks of the river. And I gave you a year to find it, and the year is up. And tonight I have come to ask you 3 questions. 3 questions. And if you can't answer them, I shall take my cow and your soul with me to hell. Are you ready?" asked the devil. Well, Davy couldn't speak. He was so tongue-tied, all he could go was blub, 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 like a fish. And all of a sudden, the young man sitting in the chair by the door said, "Yes, he's ready. And that's your first question gone. You've got 2 left." The devil couldn't believe it. And the devil got his pitchfork, and he pointed his pitchfork at the young man and he said, "Will you tell him to shut up?" "No," said the young man, "I will not shut up. And that's your second question gone. You've got 1 question left." Davy burbled. His wife watched, and the devil was incensed. Steam was starting to come out of his ears. And the devil, with a jabbity finger, said, "Who the heck is he?" Well, Davy couldn't speak, but the young man said, "I am the king of the fishes. And a year ago, Davy showed me a great kindness, and I promised that nothing but good luck would come his way. And tonight I turned into the form of a man to come and make sure that Davy kept hold of his blessing, that cow. So devil, you can hop it, you can scarp it, you can just skedaddle, because my work here is done." The devil doesn't like being outwitted, but this time he had been truly outwitted, and he span around and around and around on Davy's hearth, and he stamped his foot and whee! Disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving Davy and his wife and the young man. I'm starting to dry out," said the young man. "I need to get back down to the river." "I'll walk you down there," said Davy. And they walked down to the banks of the river, and there On the banks they shook hands, and the stranger, in the light of the moonlight, jumped off the banks, and in the middle of the air he grew scales and he grew shiny, and he dove into the water, returned to his shape as the king of the fishes. And Davy walked home, back to his cottage, back to his wife, and back to Daisy the cow. And the very next day they were open for business, and they made the best cream teas that you've ever tasted. And do you know what the magic ingredient was? Each cream tea was made with love.